we know when Grant's returning, but do you know when Grant's returning? Well, you obviously clicked on this video, so you know. We're going to tell you pretty much. So, trigger warning, I can't say the word, but this video will contain both spoilers and some discussions around
Phil Mitchell's recent storyline.
Yes, around depression, and I can't say the other word just yet, you know. We still need to make money off this. I just can't say the word yet.
He has been struggling with existence as of late, and in recent episodes, he has gone ahead and tried to stop his existence, if you will. We'll say the word once we reach a lovely little minute mark. Point being, he's been struggling, right? He's been struggling, and this is kind of culminated. The return of Nigel was a masterstroke in terms of Chris Clenshaw's idea, because it brings back one of Phil's old friends, someone who he hasn't lost, and generally those sorts of friends, they're people you'd never leave, right? You may like fall apart, but you see them one time, it's like 20 years have passed. Like, it's like no time has gone by. It's like, oh, buddy, yeah, how you doing, mate? Just straight back into it. So he's had that support. He's had that best friend as such to just care for him more than Sharon, who's now her allegiances, I guess, towards Teddy. So in Phil's depression and his, suicidal ideation, he has started to kind of lose control of his life. He is now making just like he's giving money to Billy and Honey. He is giving the gym to Nigel. He is basically packing up shop. He's had enough. And yeah, as of recent episodes, he did try to end his life. But why is this important in now? Well, Phil's mental state is going to degrade. It's going to get worse. He's going to continue to spiral. We already know the news that there will be the returning younger versions of Phil, younger versions of Peggy, younger versions of Grant and Nigel and Eric Mitchell. All these characters, Phil's probably going to have like a little flashback to as he's talking to them. And even in spoiler pictures suggest Phil's going to be talking to his younger self, which is incredible. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be incredible. And yeah, so with all that said, him losing his mind is going to continue. And we already know that a certain Ross Kemp is returning to the show as Grant Mitchell. And as we said before, we know when he returns. When does he return, Piggy?
Well, I'm going to read the article and I'm going to find out. Just going to tickle the balls a bit more, to get that ad revenue. So, again, just like I mentioned at the start of the video, but I couldn't say the words, this article contains discussion of topics including depression and suicide. No, not the wrestler. EastEnders has explained Grant Mitchell's spectacular return next week amid Phil Mitchell's flashback episode. It was announced,
and that's next week. The spoiler images suggest it will be the Thursday episode next week, which will kind of set up towards the anniversary episode, the anniversary week afterwards, confirming all of our suspicions that Grant was never going. Yeah, sure, he's technically not there. He's technically there for an episode before the anniversary week, but he's only doing it for the big episodes. Let's be honest.
It was announced at the start of this year Ross Kemp would be reprising his role as Grant in the time for the soap's 40th anniversary celebrations. Phil has been struggling with his mental health in recent months. In Monday's episode, February 3rd, he attempted to take his own life and ended up falling in the pit of the garage. Here's some spoiler images. Is that Alfie? I'm going to guess that's Alfie. In scenes that will air
Not the one wearing the colourful Alfie shirt. Yes, that's Alfie.
Well, it could be Teddy. You never know, okay? In scenes that will air next week, Sharon Watts is concerned about Phil following this incident and he wants him to see a doctor and he reluctantly agrees, but he's annoyed by her meddling and back at home he lashes out at her. As the week goes on, Sharon continues to worry about Phil. At number 55, his mental health keeps deteriorating and he begins to experience hallucinations. Meanwhile, as Billy and Honey's wedding fastly approaches, Teddy organises the giant steam do, and it is clear that he has pulled out all the stops for his brother. And then there's some more images. On the day of the celebration, Sharon's mind is still on Phil. After finding out through more that Phil paid for the whole event, she grows more concerned when she realises he has disappeared, and she orders a search party. While Sharon, Jay Brown, Billy and Honey frantically look for Phil, his suppression continues to take a hold. In a special episode, Blair on Thursday, February 13th, Phil experiences psychosis and hallucination scenes from the Mitchell family home in 1985. The cast from 2022 flashback returning. Phil's hallucinations will see him act as a bystander to the pivotal moment from his teenage years.
All right. With the information taken, that is lovely and juicy and sexy and delicious. We're going to see why Phil can't talk about his feelings, essentially. Maybe there was a time, maybe there was an incident where he opens up to Peggy about, I'm not feeling good and struggling, but then, maybe she's had an argument with Eric, and then she just shuts him down, and he goes, I just can't tell anyone then, there's just no reason to tell anyone anything. I'll just deal with it by myself. Then maybe I like Eric opts for violence, even though that's the opposite of what he wants. These episodes, it's kind of crazy how it's a really interesting way to do it, and I always look forward to seeing this sort of episode where we do see the flashback to the past, because as we said before in previous videos, the casting of all these characters, phenomenal, absolutely tremendous, really, really strong young actors to play these roles. The guy looks like Phil. He absolutely looks like Phil. It's uncanny. Gonna see Nigel in this one as well. There's gonna be a lot of really cool things, and all of this is backstory. You can make it up. You have the parameters as to how Phil's childhood would have been, but we didn't see any of it. We saw him as a grown ass man. So, what's to tell what this thing will be? But I don't know. It's one of those kind of bitter pills, because at the same time, obviously the Mitchell family have been pretty hard done with deaths in the family, as of the show. So imagine this could have been Ronnie Roxy. Imagine Sam hadn't left very quickly. Obviously you can't really help Peggy's situation, or you can't really. Barbara Windsor died, but
you can bring back the original one. So
the best recast in EastEnders history. But it's kind of they're making, in my opinion, they're making the best out of a pretty bad situation, in that they can't just auto correct and bring back these characters from the dead. They used their one token this decade for Cindy. So yeah. But still, the episode still is one of the most memorable EastEnders episodes ever, and you can only really do it with select characters, simply because you need people to care about the history. And we're seeing Phil being racked by the consequences and the things he didn't do in his teenage years that have spiraled out further and further into his adult life. Maybe some trauma means he can't open up, and he's proven that he's just incapable. He just can't let himself be open, and that's what they're probably going to explore, and that is exactly what I'm looking forward to. That'll be incredible.
And I'll just finish this article off, and then I'll get my thoughts. Also, he's going to talk to young Phil. We're going to have a Phil off. Are you excited for the Phil off? As Phil's negative thoughts spiral out of control, the two timelines begin to blur, and he talks to characters from his past, while his younger self appears in Walford and in his home. In the present day, Jay tracks down Phil at number 55, and Sharon also arrives for a crisis as Phil continues to insist that he finds and sends his ex-wife away. But shortly after, Nigel comes home with another visitor who he hopes can help Phil out in his hour of need. None other than Grant. Why does Grant sort of look like Dobby now? He's just
look. He's an old bald man. All right. Everybody ages.
Yeah, this is why you need hair, Ross Kemp. This is a hair transplant.
There's no hairs to get.
Yeah, he could find some. Uh,
He's been bald for 35 years at least now.
will Grant be able
I
to?
think that ship sailed.
Will Grant be able to get through to his struggling brother? Probably.
But yeah, just to fully reiterate, Grant Mitchell's return will take place on the
13.
Thursday, the 13th of February. So that is exactly when he'll debut. Well, he will return. Let's be honest, he'll be for 10 seconds at the end where he says, "All right, Phil," and then duff. It's like, oh, he's back ahead of the anniversary week, like we all predicted.
And then he'll be
Even
there
though
for
they tried to make it candid. Oh, he's going to be back in the new year. Come on, homie. He's going to be back in the anniversary week, for crying out loud. What are you taking the piss out of us for?
How long do you reckon he'll stick around while the camera's still on you?
A week. He'll be back for a week. Short stint, Clenshaw, back again. He's not lasting. Maybe 2 weeks at a stretch. But well, it just depends how Phil. Because I imagine the anniversary will be a lot of Phil just kind of being like, he'll finally open up, and I don't know, probably a week if I had to guess.
Yeah, and I guess without further ado, is that the end of the video?
No, you go through your thoughts, mate.
Oh, my thoughts. Oh yeah, I forgot my thoughts.
If you do have opinions.
I do have opinions. It's all shite. I'm only messing. My thoughts is I'm looking forward to the Phil talking to Phil, because Phil talking to Phil is just funny to me. It's gonna be like the timelines blur. I'm excited for Grant to return, but I know he's not going to be in that episode. Like you said, he's going to appear the last 10 seconds. Like, all right, Phil, how are you doing? like imagine he just shows up and he goes, "Want a bag of chips?" Fancy a takeaway?
Yeah, like genuinely, Phil, you right? That's it. That's what he's going to say. I guarantee it.
Or he just shows up and he goes, "Someone should have fixed that door. Damn." He just says something that doesn't fit in with Grant saying it. It's just like I need just like a sentence that would not fit in for Grant to say as the toughed up place. Jesus, did you shit in that toilet? Jesus, someone left a stinker. But
he's back to the toilet humour again.
Yeah, back to the toilet humour. Sorry lads, sorry. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the dedicated episode, the film next week. I wonder, like,
I do think it'll build up to make it us more memorable. I think having the episode not during the anniversary week, so it doesn't take away from the festivities, because obviously there's a big fire. We've seen more about the electrical fires coming in. Like, there's a lot going on the anniversary that you don't really want to expose. But continuing that, yeah, it's just gonna be really exciting to see, because yeah, they'd proven that they'd done a really good job the first time, so round 2 shouldn't be any different.
And I guess while we're here, we have now been confirmed that someone will die in the fire. So
have we?
Well, I've read somewhere that we were told that someone will perish in the fire.
Yeah.
But we don't know who, so I'm just.
I mean, people are speculating that it's Martin. Especially there's some teaser images of like a bunch of stuff being thrown out the Vic. So if you don't want spoilers, but we've already talked about so many spoilers at this point. It's fine. But there's a potential. There's a bunch of flowers outside where Martin's stall would be. Sonia's leaving, Ruby's definitely leaving, and Stacy's leaving. 3 of the most influential people in Martin's life. You finally got the Fowler's stall after all these years. Who knows?
I think.
But I think also people have because I've not seen where they explicitly said that someone dies. Obviously it's very heavily suggested that someone dies, and I do think a couple, like at least 1 or 2 people will, but it's not really been as outlandishly like exclaimed as it usually is, right? Usually they'll be like, bloody hell, someone. It's like the 35th anniversary. It's not a major character dies, Denny Watts. Okay, great. Oh, and as Denny dies, Albie is born. What? Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, most people just suggesting Martin is at the end of the day. I'm not really seeing, but then again, also people are a little bit tunnel visioned on Martin as such. You know, could I see a big shock being like George? You know, he goes back in to save one of his girls or Koja or something, perishes.
No. He saves the real hero, Tyson the dog. Oh.
But yeah, just to finally wrap this one through. Do we have anything else to really comment on this, or do we just ask the viewers what they think?
Ask the viewers what they think.
You excited for the flashback episode? You excited for the young to meet the old, for young Phil and old Phil? For Jamie Winston as Peggy again. You know, young Nigel this time, and of course the return of the big man, the main man, Grant Mitchell. Tell us all that and more in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Join us in the next one. Bye-bye.